Hello and good evening. Welcome to Light Up Skies podcast with your host James. Good evening. So, in succession of the first episode with everyone's positive feedback and positivity, I've decided to go ahead now and do episode two, which is about mental health and awareness. So, sit back, relax, and let it soak in. Good evening. Hello. I'd be asked there is like, what personal experience with mental health has changed my life? My experience of mental health has shaped my life's by so many parts. And one of them is living in social housing. And when I moved into social housing, it was a big adjustment. It brought challenges, but it also gave me perspective. To this day, I still live in social housing, and the environment has influenced my mental health journey. It's not always easy, and I know others can relate living in similar situations. But it also has taught me resilience, finding ways to cope and grow, even in environments that feel overwhelming. For me, those experiences have been a reminder of how important it is to look after your mental health and to create a safe space where you can feel safe and supported no matter where you live. So, a second question I'd be asked would be, what strategies or habits have you found helpful in managing mental health? When I reflect on my mental health journey, it really began with small things that helped me cope. Even before I understood it fully growing up, school was a tough place to navigate, but I found comfort in singing and being part of a choir. It gave me ways to express myself without words. As I got older, I realized I needed more than just these early outlets. So I turned to counseling. Therapy taught me how to face my emotions and thoughts in a healthy way, but seeking help was not only okay, but necessary. Then I started working out. At first, it was about getting fit, but I soon noticed how much it cleared my mind too. Physical activity has become one of my most main tools for maintaining balance, not just physical, but mental as well. Most recently, I found the creative outlets like songwriting and journaling to be powerful ways to work through my emotions. They help me make sense of what's going on in my head, and I've also learned to take time for mindfulness, just checking in with myself, taking a deep breath, and staying present. To sum it all up, the habits that work for me include staying physically active, getting support when needed, using creativity to process emotions, and practicing mindfulness. Each one helped me maintain my mental health, and over time, I've learned that it's not about perfection, it's about what helps you keep going. Another question there would be is like, what miscommunications about mental health do you think need to be challenged? But I think one of the misconceptions about mental health is that it's a sign of weakness. People often think if you're struggling mentally, it means you're not strong enough or resilient enough, and that's not true. From my own experience, I've learned taking care of your mental health actually takes a lot of strength. For example, living in social housing, there was unspoken pressure just to keep going no matter what. Like admitting I was struggling wasn't an option, but it's in those moments when you're honest about what you're going through that that's real strength shows. Getting into counseling was a big step up for me at first. I wasn't sure if it was something I needed, but therapy has taught me that asking for help isn't weak, it's necessary. It helped me understand myself better and gave me tools to handle the challenges I was facing. Another misconception is that mental health can be fixed easily, like it's a switch you can flip. For me, it's been a journey staying physically active, like going to the gym has been a huge part of managing my mental health. But it's not an overnight fix or moments when you're honest about what you're going through that real strength shows. Getting into counseling was a big step for me. At first, I wasn't sure if it was something I needed. But therapy taught me that asking for help isn't weak, it's necessary. It helped me understand myself better and gave me tools to handle the challenges I was facing. Another misconception is that mental health can be fixed easily, like it's a switch you can flip. For me, it's been a journey. Staying physically active, like going to the gym, has been a huge part of managing my mental health. But it's not an overnight fix, it's about consistency. Working out doesn't just make you stronger physically, it clears your mind. It became a way for me to release stress and focus on something positive. And then there's the choir for me. Singing was never just about music, it was about expression. It's such a misconception that mental health is just about the mind. It's also about finding those outlets like music where you can process emotions in a way that feels natural. Living in social housing, I've also seen how people can be judged unfairly, like mental health struggles are something to be ashamed of. But we need to challenge that stigma. It's okay to talk about it and to share what you're going through. So if there's one thing I want listeners to take away is this. Mental health isn't weakness, it's part of being human, whether it's staying active, finding creative outlets, seeking professional help, or just being honest with yourself. It's all about finding what works for you and knowing that it's okay to take that journey. Last question then would be, what would you say to someone who feels hesitant to seek help? What would you say to someone who feels hesitant to seek help? Asking for help isn't a sign of weakness. It's an act of courage. You don't have to face everything on your own, whether it's talking to a counselor, reaching out to a support group, or even finding a local organization that understands your situation. There's help out there. I've been in places where I felt stuck, living in social housing, battling doubts, but seeking help through therapy changed everything. It taught me that the hardest part is taking that first step. Once you do, you'll realize that there are people and resources ready to support you. You're not alone in this, and you deserve to feel better. So, thank you. That was just a brief story of my mental health awareness tied in with the listeners. So thank you very much for tuning in. If you would like to like, subscribe, or comment below for next episode. Good night.